Comptroller Timi Bomodi, the incoming Customs Area Controller, Seme Area Command, who incidentally was once the Nigerian Customs Service Public Relations Officer, senior officers here present, the chairman of the freight forwarders, colleagues from other government agencies, gentlemen of the press. Like they said, everything in life have a beginning and must also have an end. We've come to another phase of my life as a customs officer, and we're beginning a new chapter with my friend and my brother. It's always nostalgic to say that you are leaving a place. But the truth is that you really cannot leave a place where your heart is. So I may live here physically, but the truth is that in my heart, I will remain with you here, particularly as my brother is the one taking over. I also have this feeling of fulfillment, considering that the person taking over from me is doing this strategically for the second time. When I was the public relations officer of Nigerian Customs Service at Apapa, and it was time for me to move to Customs headquarters in Abuja, Controller Bomodi here took over from me as PRO. So this is the second time I am going to hand over to him. But something is very significant. Before I read my speech, let me state that after taking over from me as the PRO Apapa, he ended up becoming the national PRO. So, Controller Bomodi, I want to believe that this second time you are taking over from me, you will also end up becoming something higher. Amen. I wish to once again welcome you all to Nigerian Customs Service Seme Area Command and the seat of the Seme Kreke Joint Border Post, the foremost frontier for trade in West and Central Africa, and one of the busiest boundary lines in Africa, on the handing over of the leadership of the command to the incoming area controller, Timi Bomodi, today, the 18th of September, 2023. Distinguished audience, gentlemen of the press, colleagues, upon my resumption of duty on the 23rd of January 2023, I pledged to adopt new strategies to boost trade while enforcing the nation's anti-smuggling laws along the Abidjan-Lagos corridor. This in line with the ECOWAS protocols on free movement of goods, persons, and services. I also promised, along with officers and men of the command, to encourage compliant traders along the corridor, bearing in mind the challenges of the joint border post as one that is still recovering from the effects of border closure. We have kept faith with this promise. Distinguished stakeholders, it is gratifying to mention notable impacts made by the command in our key indicators, which are revenue collection, anti-smuggling operation, and trade facilitation. The revenue target for the command for the year 2023, 1,966 million only. As at Friday, the 15th of September 2023, the command has collected 2,088,578,048 naira only. By this, it means that we have surpassed our revenue target of 1,966,000,000 naira allocated to us by 122,578,000 naira. Sir, I wish to thank the officers here who assisted us in achieving this feat of surpassing our revenue target by 6.23%. In the corresponding period under review for year 2022, the command was able to collect 885,543,098 naira only. So you can see that it's not been easy, bearing in mind that we almost doubled what was collected last year just as target alone. This painstaking effort of the officers was complemented by the kind of leadership that we provided in partnership with other stakeholders and other government agencies who have assisted us in our efforts in keeping with the mandate of the Nigerian Customs Service Management. In the area of anti-smuggling operations, you are all already conversant with our past headline seizures. In addition to those, we have also seized over 9,550 kg bags of rice, equivalent to 16 trailer loads of rice for the last 7 months that I've been here, with duty paid value of 312 million naira. We also seized 15,094 by 30 liters of PMS, equivalent to 15 petroleum tankers with duty paid value of 738 million naira, also within the 7 months and 2 weeks that I have served here as area controller. This is in addition to 15,389 general merchandise that was also seized. Also significant is the fact that we have also seized some hard drugs. We seized 594 parcels of cannabis sativa, 4,900 tablets of 225 milligrams of tramadol Tamol X, 3,600 tablets of 225 tramadol Royal, 157 tablets of Henneken ecstasy tablets, and 864 packs of expired cigarettes. The duty paid value of the seized items for the period up to September 8th of this month is 1,827,000,000 naira. Under the export, the command facilitated the export of 146,400 metric tons of export produce with free on board value of 16,525,000,000 naira. The next value paid is 82,630,798 naira only. These were captured under 489 single goods declaration documents utilized from January to August 2023. In addition to the above, and in line with our agenda of encouraging our officers to give their best in their line of duty, we have written letters to headquarters waiting that some of our men that made the command very proud be recognized and celebrated. Notable among those officers are those that seized the fake $6 million, the 15 fake international passports, and 10 fake international driver's license, the use of which would have aided insecurity across the sub-region if they were not seized. And by the grace of God, all the officers, 18 of them, have been given letters of commendation by the Acting Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, DSM, Fellow, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. We want to appreciate the Controller General and his management for recognizing the effort of these officers and for diligently rewarding them through those letters of commendation. It is also my hope and expectation that that letter and the congratulatory letter that are also added to that will further motivate the officers to do more in the discharge of their duties. And let me also use this opportunity to encourage other officers to emulate those examples of already set by those officers and repeat such feat for the incoming controller. Let me also inform you that when I resumed here, due to the long time of border closure of some of our facilities at the joint border post and in our barracks, we are in their state of repairs. For instance, the floodlight at the ECOWAS joint border post was not in use for several years. We renovated them and rebranded the medical center of the Nigerian Customs Service. We installed street lights at our barracks, solar street lights for that matter. And in addition to that, we, as much as possible, created a very healthy synergy between us and other security agencies and stakeholders at the Seme joint border post. We also did so much to bring to the awareness of the government and the management of Nigerian Customs Service the need to further improve the relationship between us and our most proximate neighbor, Benin Republic. That relationship culminated in the visit of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to Benin Republic, the visit of the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, to Benin Republic, and just 4 days ago, Benin Republic Customs Administration also visited Nigeria, where we have signed agreement to develop a framework to further increase the trade relationship between us and Benin Republic. Incidentally, my brother here, who is taking over from me, was part of that committee, and we were in Abuja together to facilitate that agreement alongside other top management of customs of both administrations. What that means is that you are in good hands. The person taking over from me is somebody that's already conversant with the environment that is coming to operate in. Let me appreciate the Controller General of Customs for his support to the command, and also appreciate the Seme Badagry community for their cooperation, and to officers and men of the command for their gallantry and patriotism. Let me also appreciate other government agencies, the military, the State Security Service, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Port Health, Immigration, and all other NAFDAC, SON, Quarantine, all other government agencies, and of course, the freight forwarders who helped us to generate the revenue that we are very proud to have collected on behalf of federal government. Our greatest appreciation goes to the media for highlighting our modest effort in Seme Area Command. May I graciously request for you to offer the same support and cooperation to my successor. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
I was last here over 30 years ago, and I came just as a fresh officer from the training college. I spent about 4 years in Seme, and I must tell you that those 4 years were amazing because it opened my eyes to, the huge responsibilities foisted on public officers, especially those of us that are given the responsibility to manage our frontiers. They were wonderful because, again, as a young graduate coming into the civil service, our expectations were so high as to what we thought we were going to meet in the field. But operations and the realities that are contained therein are totally different things. And then we learned to first understand the community in which we worked in, and then the kind of people that we were compelled to have interactions with. And it was a huge learning curve for me. A lot of us have had to, pass through the same kind of experiences in different places, either at different border stations or even here. And we've all grown through the job, and we've been better off for the experiences that we've acquired along the way. Coming back here to Seme, in the position of the area controller, again, is a new area, a new challenge. And I must say, I have to express my gratitude once more to the outgoing controller, Nnadi, also incidentally, who is the present controller for Tinkan Island Command, for the wonderful achievements that he has made here. Because it is not easy when you are given a responsibility to not only meet the goal that is set out for you, but to exceed those goals. This, is amazing. And once you are able to do that, you know that at least you can beat your chest and say, you know what, I came, I saw, and I conquered. And not many persons, yes, he deserves that applause, and not many persons can say that. So a very big congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed, I and all of us seated here are compelled to act in the spirit of the times. And the spirit of the times dictates that we begin to think of new ways that we can, either as individual officers or as a group, that we can create in order to make this corridor about the most viable and excellent in terms of trade facilitation. The Seme-Krake border is strategic in trade related to the sub-region, and we all know that. If Seme-Krake fails, then the whole sub-region fails. If it succeeds, then the whole sub-region succeeds. As we said in the meeting before coming in here, I am not used to taking up assignments for which I fail. I expect to succeed. I expect to take off from where my brother left off, and by God's grace, to do more. This corridor is actually a trade corridor. It's like one of the major arteries of the human body. And if anything happens to that major artery, you know what happens to the body? You just simply die. And that is why we need to pay particular attention to what happens on this corridor.
Hand over the Seme-Krake joint border post to you. You are the area controller, and you're also the chairman of the Seme-Krake joint border post, which comprises of all the government agencies and special agencies working here. Hand over the flag of the Nigerian Customs Service to you, in continuation of the good work we've been doing here with officers. Congratulations.
Thank you.